Ayy, this ain't a drill. Only time I plan is on the field. And when I'm on the field, no, I got mad skills. And you know we bout to eat this a fast meal. Y'all gotta pay for this heat like a gas bill. We keep on coming back, so yeah, they mad still. 716 make them pay with some bad bills. Red, white, and blue like Superman, so you know we eating at the Super Bowl. Kill the competition, set up the funeral. Josh Allen catching all the shots you go for. We callin' blitz. Ready to start, we ain't calling no quits. I'm the #1 draft pick. A lot of y'all talk, but I ain't hearing it. Only listen to Keyshawn and Hit. Talk about the Bills dominating on the field. All our players got them skills. Buffalo don't make a kill when we talk about the Bills dominating on the field, and our players got them skills. Buffalo won't make a kill.
What's going on? Welcome back to another live episode of the Podium podcast, home of the all truth, no sodium takes. I am your co-host, Aramis.
Melly Mac.
Can y'all hear me?
We got to check every time now.
Heard?
No. We got a new cord now.
I got a new cord?
I got a new cord now. Okay. So this one is supposed to be, huh?
I'm scared.
I know.
I don't want to bring my best stuff and then be like, yo, we can't hear nothing. I'm like, yo, I can't recreate the moment. The moment is past.
We can. We tried that before, but it didn't work as well.
It wasn't as crisp.
Yeah.
And 40 keys okay. Over here.
That's okay. We get there. Eventually we get there.
We in the house.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, listen, I'm going to throw a curveball your way, and I want to – I'm not.
Nah, I know you long enough. You know nothing's out of the realm of possibility.
You just the Dodgers around here, hitting everything. Okay, we haven't done this in a while, but I'm gonna open the floor up because we need to get the stuff we heard.
We do.
Yeah, I figured that. It's been a while. What do we have, fellas?
Okay. So I couldn't help but be intrigued by Keanu and Khalil's post-game interview. I mean, it was just night and day, was it not?
What do you mean night and day?
You had one guy sounding just like he's supposed to sound, and one guy talking about. He said the S word like 6 times in the interview.
Yeah. He
said something about hitting the schmees. What Sam will say, he hit the schmees on him. Then the other guy's talking about we got to put in work for the week. Get back to the lab and prep and all. Ken ain't caring nothing about that.
Nah.
Ken was over there like, yo. I mean, it was. I don't know if it was a one-handed catch. I don't know. What do you mean you don't know? You don't know. I mean, you don't have to be like, oh, yeah, I got him. I lost him. You got to do that. But, you know it's a one-hand catch.
I mean, maybe if he was in the throes of rage because he was being tested the whole game by Witherspoon. You know what I'm saying? So, wait, was it Witherspoon? No, it was Willard.
It was a whole bunch. It was all of them.
I don't think Witherspoon played because he's been hurt.
It was all of them.
Was it?
Yeah, it was all of them.
He just abused all of them?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, fair enough. I love it. But maybe because he was in the throes of war, that he didn't realize what he did to them.
You got to come down, though. After a while, you come down.
And I could see, like it wasn't, like, in the hands. Like, he kind of, like, grabbed it with the arm and the body. So, in his mind, was it a one-handed catch or was it a one-body hand catch?
Right.
Like,
nah, he knew. He knew. He's done it a million times. It's routine. He's got that catch on camera at all levels of football. He knew. Yeah. But nah, I mean, it was just the beauty of candidness versus you could see the corporate line versus when you put them together, it was a wrong marriage there. When we had Keanu and Marmar, it was a little more similar. Speaking of Marmar, did you see his mic'd up?
You gonna keep that going?
Marmar?
Yeah. If
he keep acting like he's acting, yeah. Did you see his mic'd up?
No.
Yo, his name is not DeMar anymore. He's Marmar. Yo,
I don't get it.
That man, he cursing every chance he gets. He actually seems like he's the vocal leader on defense because he was running. Did you see it, Mel?
No, I didn't see that one.
Yeah, I happened to catch it on YouTube. You know how I do. I never go on YouTube at all, and I happened to catch it the one time I went on there, and it was a mic'd up. It was about 7 minutes, I think, and it was funny. One of the scenes was when Austin Johnson got his interception.
Oh, okay.
And he's like sprints to the sideline. He's like, wait, what happened? Huh? And they at the end zone, they celebrate. He like, wait, where they at? Oh man, I missed it. I missed the play. He over there like, for real? Oh man. So I mean, it was it's little stuff like that. It was just candid and nice to see him outside of behind the microphone.
Okay. Quick question while we're on the topic of Hamlin.
Marmar. As I crack my key wiser.
I'll just have a conversation with you then.
As I said, my key wiser, right?
Going that route. Melly Mac.
What's up?
On the topic of Damar Hamlin, how do you see this Bills defensive staff being able to use the safeties against, how can I say this? Actually, let me start with this question. Do you think the safeties need to be protected from Patrick Mahomes first and foremost?
Can I say one thing and then I'm not going to say anything else?
Melly Mack is being asked the question right now. Until you
this
until
man
you
really
drop
thinks
the
that shoulder.
Mar-Mar,
He thinks putting his shoulder in my face is going to change the way. Is this supposed to block me?
right. When I turn my shoulder, that's when the camera angle turns too. That's how it's supposed to go.
No, you go ahead. I was messing around.
So you said about Pat Mahomes. What you said about Pat Mahomes?
So do you think these safeties should be shielded or set loose against Patrick Mahomes?
So even though he's not having a good year right now, I got to give respect where respect is due. He is the best quarterback in the NFL, right? Even though he's having a bad season. I'm on the fence with that because I want my safeties to play the way they've been playing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to switch anything up. I feel like if I switch them, if I like sick him on Pat Mahomes, it might bite us in the butt.
Mm-hmm.
So I want them to be comfortable as possible. So if comfortable means playing the scheme that they've been playing or playing the way they've been playing, I'll let that ride until it doesn't work. If it's not working, then I'm like, yo, you gotta do something different. But right now, I don't want to chance it against Pat Mahomes.
Okay. All right.
Even though, like I said, he's playing very, very bad, but he's still Mahomes, man.
Yeah. So my second question would be then, I guess, in the case of Damar Hamlin, based on what you've seen so far,
Mm-hmm.
can he handle a full game against Patrick Mahomes in that offense?
I think he could.
Okay.
I think he could. I feel more confident knowing because to me they don't have a true number one there. Like I know D-Hop's there, but he hasn't been acclimated to their offense yet.
And he's not the same D-Hop, let's be honest.
Until he's like got that connection with Mahomes and he's like the guy that like to me it's just Travis Kelce right now. So I'm not really worried about the passing attack per se. However, like let's say they had a healthy Rashee Rice or even Tyreek Hill, I would be a little nervous because I think Damar Hamlin can play safety. I think he's a decent safety, but I'm worried about the coverage skills. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I know he's there for, tackling and like sealing the edge and stuff like that, but I don't know if he can cover the way we need him to cover.
Okay.
And that's the factor. Like I don't know if he can do it because we haven't seen him. You know what I'm saying? But again, even when they play, is he really going to be tested? Because what number one do they got that's going to like threaten them deep or take the top off the defense? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Well, this is. I'm not going to say murmur just so I can get my point across, but I will say it again later.
I respect
just
it.
not right now.
Showing up gonna beep it out every single
You
time.
can. I'm just going to be loud. Hey, no. But like to your point, there's nothing flashy in the back five. Right. There's nothing flashy there. Right. I saw people say, I want Budda Baker. I watched the Arizona against Miami. Yeah, he's flying around. He's attacking. They're not asking our safeties to do that. You talk about ball hawks like Minka used to be and people like that. They don't ask them to do that. They say don't let nothing deep, and they do it very well. If you look at our defense, we allowed only 5 plays over 30 yards.
The whole season?
5 plays. Now the 5 plays that we allowed,
they're big plays.
They were ugly. Derrick Henry twice and so on and so forth. But out of those, they allowed 3 touchdowns and believe it or not, they're on the ground. Three rushing touchdowns. So I say this to say, we have played against teams that do like to go deep. They want to test us deep, but our defensive scheme has said, no, you can have this, but you're not getting that.
Right.
And so to insulate Damar Hamlin and Taylor Rapp and Cole Bishop, all the same. None of them are stellar, right. But they as a unit, the 5.
Do you see the Chiefs as a deep play team?
No. Well, what I'm saying is that the only way I think you would beat a Hamlin or a Bishop or a Rapp even is to go deep. And our defense is to not allow them to go deep. Like whereas you have a Budda Baker where they bring a safety up, or they play zero coverage, which would expose Rasul Douglas and Christian Benford. We don't play that way. And that's why when people say, oh, he's horrible here, he's horrible, they're horrible, they're not asked to do what you think they're asked to do. Everybody doesn't play the same. Right. We know that. Right. People that watch at home know that. But, when you watch something, you want that. Mm-hmm. If you don't get that, it sucks. But we're 6-2 for a reason.
So, and I guess the reason I'm asking this now is because looking at the landscape of the league, Houston, even when they get Nico Collins, they're going to be back to what they were last year, which is, hit or miss every week. You know what I mean? I'm not sure if Nico Collins is going to be able to go off the same way he was before when teams had to respect Stephon Diggs being on the field. Yeah. Tank Dell's probably going to see more targets, but, I think that is what it is. What we saw last year is going to be that same offense, which is beatable. You know what I'm saying? But with them having lost yesterday, if we win Sunday, which we absolutely will, and then even if the Ravens win, we're still – number 2 in the conference behind the Chiefs. So realistically, our only competition is the top dog, the undefeated team in the Chiefs, right? So I guess I'm just kind of taking a quick look forward and just kind of thinking ahead of time in terms of how this defense as currently constructed matches up against their offense. Because in my mind, we're right up against the trade deadline. This is the time to really make sure that you've shored up everything that you need to have in order to compete with that team. They are undefeated. That is the cream of the crop this season. You don't even need to really worry about the Lions until you see them in the Super Bowl, in my opinion. Yeah, you play them this year, but it's an NFC game. Even if you do lose it, it don't matter.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So let me ask you this. In terms of what we know to be the biggest issue with our defense over the last few years, which I think everybody has to admit has been better this year aside from the Ravens game, is our run defense, right? We know the Chiefs can run the ball. What I want to know from you guys is the too high safety look is what we usually play to take away the deep ball. It's something we're going to see in this Dolphins game. That's what they've been doing against Tua the whole entire time. He doesn't play well against too high safety the same way that Kirk Cousins doesn't play well against too high safety. So the Bills are going to go into this game saying, you know what, you're not going to beat us deep. Yeah, you got McCall Hardman. Yeah, you got, Sky Moore or whoever else you want to try and throw out there and go deep. We'll take that away. But what if they start running the ball? Our safeties are good against the run.
Yeah.
Do you guys want to risk having them cheat against the run to shut it down and put the Chiefs in third down and distance?
Well, here's the thing. It depends who they got running. Because as far as I'm concerned, if they ain't got Pacheco, I'm not worried.
Really? Even
No.
with Kareem Hunt?
No.
Wow.
He's so painstakingly. He's like,
I know, he's sure.
Look at his face.
I'm not saying Kareem Hunt is trash, but I'm saying he's not the running back that Pacheco is. Like, I can't see Kareem Hunt killing us in the run game. Like, to me, Kenneth Walker's better than him. Breece Hall is better than him. You know what I'm saying? So, like, if they didn't get off, I don't see him running. I can't see Kareem Hunt gashing us in the run game.
Well,
he's only getting 3.7 yards a carry, which is
still, this is my thought on it.
But Pacheco, that's a whole different. If he's back, then that's
we had a Devin Singletary number 2 go for over 200 yards on this when we played against him. We tried to let him run. And Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
He's good too, though.
Is he better than Kareem Hunt?
Clyde?
Yeah.
You talking about Clyde?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You think he's better than Kareem?
Yeah, I think he's better than Kareem.
Really?
Yeah. I don't think so.
Yeah, that's.
Let's
look at their numbers.
Look at Kareem's stats when he was in Cleveland.
Well, you playing behind Nick Chubb. That has to be different. It has to be. You're playing against one of the best running backs in the league in Nick Chubb.
I'm saying when he went out, it was all Kareem Hunt, and he ain't show up
this year.
No.
That's the thing. I think the coefficient of Kareem Hunt being older. Is he 30 yet? He's got to be pushing.
No, I think he's 29. Hold on.
Okay.
Kareem Hunt age.
I'm spitballing that one, but you got to be pushing 30. And
29. Yeah.
So he was. In his day, he was a bad boy. Yeah, I definitely think he's better. But I'm saying like relative to time, I think Helaire is better than Kareem Hunt. But if we sell out, I don't think you need to sell out against any one component of their offense. I think you can play them honest. Mahomes is what, second or third now in the league in interceptions. He's not first anymore. So if you play them honest, you sit back like you do. It's offense versus offense, and I'll take our offense over their offense any day, especially when it's cooking.
Right.
Kareem Hunt's best season outside of Kansas City with the Browns is 2020. He ran for 841 yards and 6 touchdowns that year. Outside of that, Everything else has been under 500 yards.
Clyde Edwards-Helaire went for 200 against us and went for 250 for the season. No, I'm joking.
Right. That's the last thing we need to be talking about right now. Unbelievable. Okay. All right. Well, I mean, that should be a little more comforting in terms of the safety play, because that's the one thing that kind of ruins the safety's game plan, is having to cheat up and cover the run. You know what I'm saying? If the Chiefs can get a run game going, now all of a sudden you might have to throw 8 in the box, and now you got to play man outside, and you do not want to play the Chiefs man coverage.
Here comes Kelsey.
Exactly.
But this is how I look at that, though. If the Bills play with tempo, yes, that was my word. Last week, that's my word. This week, that's my word. Next week, that's my word. Henceforth, tempo. If they play with tempo, it's going to be a passing game.
Explain tempo.
Basically, you can't come out in the first half and rope-a-dope like they were doing at one point in time. They were coming out sluggish, coming out slow, and then in the second half, like, we are the better team. We got to win this now.
They got to start with their foot on the gas.
Yeah, like Seattle, we came out and we were working them. You know, Tennessee was kind of slow with this, like they figured it out. Right. But if you start like that, you want to force Kansas City to throw. Even though it's Mahomes.
What do you think that could be? The slow starts, is that game plan oriented or related? I should say. Is that just you thought you were going to get something different? Like what do we think that is?
So, a lot of it, I believe, has to do with Joe Brady constructing his offense, thinking that what are the defense going to attack? What are they going to do? Because basically, it's all about counterpunching. Yeah. Like if I'm an offensive coordinator, I'm going to have my game plan. But I'm also going to try to figure out what are they going to try to scheme me on. Like, I'm going to try to counter them. So, to me, I think maybe he just either unsure of what was going to happen to where his game plan was like, all right, this is not working. We got to switch it up. So, I don't know if it was if he just thought that they were going to defend him differently than what he expected. Because y'all see what Cooper came, like, not to say that it was him, his presence, his performance on the field, but it's just his presence. It changed things up. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's a lot easier for Brady to scheme because, well, this is what I got out there. Who are you going to defend? You got to pay attention to this guy so I can scheme these guys open. You know what I mean?
Okay. Key, what you think?
Not gonna like my answer, but I really attribute it to Josh, because if you look at, like I said, every week, those throws have been there. It's like after the second half of the Titans game, he's like, wait a minute, they are there. So it's really like Joe Brady sat down and said, he was your guy. That was your guy. Let's switch how you look. Let's switch how you read the field. Let's switch how you operate. Yeah. You know, I really think that there's nothing special. I watched the All-22 back. We had somebody comment on the show last time. I'm assuming I'm bugging because Cooper changes the landscape. He's the true number one. But I watched the All-22, and neither one of them teams gave a damn about Cooper. They really didn't. They single-man him the whole game. Mm-hmm. They didn't roll no coverage toward him. They didn't look at him, no linebacker, no nothing. If they weren't playing zone, they took away the middle of the field. That's what they were trying to do. Alton Kincaid was getting doubled. That's why they had a lot of those bubble screens to Khalil Shakir to open up that middle. So I think what it wasn't so much the game plan called by Brady. It was just the way it was interpreted by the offense. That's the way I look at it.
Okay. And to Keith's point, if you look at those last two games, I've seen Josh change plays more in those last two games. Like he's checked down a lot.
Yep, he's killing a lot.
Way more than he was in the beginning. Yep. So maybe he's seeing stuff like maybe him and Brady had a conversation. Like, dude, you got to trust what's out there. Yeah. Trust what you see and take it. So as he's looking at the defense, he's like, okay, I got that over here. Boom. And then boom, like he's making the right call. So I think it part of what I said, but I think he got a good point. Josh's confidence in running what was running, and look at his throws, his targets that he got open. Because like I don't know, it seems like ever since that Tennessee game, that second half, they've been on point.
Yeah, I mean, if that's what is weird, if Cooper brings about, let me throw to Keon Coleman a million times. It's a weird way to correlate that he's impacting the game because he's not even getting the ball, but. You know, if that's what it is, fine. But I can tell you the defense isn't looking any different. The offense is still doing the same thing. Yeah. And honestly, Cooper, if you watch it, he looks lost out there right now. And that's attributed to anybody that wants to call me out. That's because the offensive playbook is so hard to learn. Yeah. So
and the fact that he just got there.
He just got there. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
So I'm not saying he's a bum. He's washing them. But I'm saying it's like what you think it is not.
Yeah. Well, one of the other things, too, that I and I'm trying to find out if this is the case, but based on what I've heard Sean McDermott say, what I've heard the coaching staff in the building say, they are not the type to just make things easy for Cooper the way other teams would to get him to play well.
Forcing the ball, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I think what we saw with the Browns and even with the Cowboys was, look, we'll just give you a smaller playbook just to get you out there and making plays for us.
Right.
Sean is not like that. Sean is like, yo, you going to come in here, you part of the team, you do the same work everybody else did to learn the playbook, and then you can get out there. So this might be a case where this investment in Cooper is more so gonna play out and pay off in the playoffs as opposed to what we've usually seen for Cooper. So it's a cultural thing. It is what it is. I mean I don't know if I agree or disagree with it. I may disagree with it if we start losing games because he's not getting the playbook and we need him to be better, or but if it's fine and we run teams out of the yard like we did this past Sunday, then hey, it don't matter. Come play it during the playoffs. Let him sit the rest of the season for all I care.
Yeah, I think it's like there is a point to be made about the name. I don't want to disrespect Mac Hollins, but Amari Cooper versus Mac Hollins, Curtis Samuel is not even Amari Cooper in that name, Right. So when it comes to Keon Coleman, who's tearing us apart, Khalil Shakir, who's giving us work, who's the third guy? Oh, we got one. Wow, man, he's Amari Cooper's over there too. We got to at least play him man, or we can't sag off. I'm just interested in seeing how much Josh looks at Cooper when he does his reads. It seems like he's definitely going to Khalil Shakir a lot. Kincaid is not really eating. And I mean, if you want to really talk about it, if you looked at the Seahawks all 22, they were double teaming Dawson Knox at times. Mm-hmm. That tells you what the game plan was.
Take the seam away.
Right.
Basically.
That's it. Anything that comes in this area, you're done.
Yep. And, I mean, fine. If we got weapons on the outside, y'all can take away the middle all you want. We'll just kill you. But let me ask you guys this. Do you think, based on what we've seen the last 3 games, it seems like Josh Allen is calling more audibles at the line? He's checking out of bad plays. Is that something you guys notice pick up?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, to me, I think that would be the other part of speeding up things and getting things going when it's not working. I mean, if Josh didn't have that same freedom, or if maybe he didn't trust himself enough to check out of certain plays, I think it would have to be one of those two things. Either he didn't trust himself, or he wasn't sure how much leeway he had to do it. But either way, what we're seeing now is he knows the game. I mean, I've seen fans say it. I've heard other analysts say, like, and you've even said this too, like, just take the game over. Mm-hmm. Like, what's out there. You know what to do. Just go out and do it. Yeah. You know what I mean? Call the plays if you need to. Yeah. I think it's one of the reasons why fans wanted us to run the K gun again, because when we're in hurry up and it's him calling the plays out there, the Bills are masterful.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I don't want to get too far into this particular subject. So let's get back to stuff we heard, and then there's some things I saw in the comments there that I want to address. I promise I will get to you guys' comments shortly.
We're going to leave time for comments.
Absolutely.
Before we do, I don't understand algorithms and all that stuff, so what I suggest, just subscribe. Just subscribe now. and the reason why I say that is because we don't know if we're going to get buried, if we're going to be up to the top somewhere.
Yeah.
So if you don't watch every show, that's fine. But at least see what we're doing. We're here Monday and Friday every week, faithfully, twice,
6 p.m.
At least one show a week. So I'm not asking you or trying to plug this thing any other reason besides you obviously like the show. And sometimes you can find it, sometimes you can't. So why not make it easy on yourself? I did a poll. Did you see the poll I put up?
I did not.
It was a joke poll, but
wait, on Twitter or YouTube?
No, on YouTube, on our community side.
No, I didn't see it.
So I said, so which one of these would you rather have? Let me read it verbatim. Okay. Just a random question. Given a redo, no hindsight 2020 business, who would you rather have as Josh's backup? And I put Mitch Trubisky, Mike White. Matter of fact, Magic Mitch.
Magic.
Mike White Chocolate. Famous Jameis. And this guy is a picture of Shane Bussell.
Oh, God. Why would you even do that?
Because I put Jameis in there with the rest of the guys we have on the team already.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So, any guesses of who won?
Oh, the fact that you brought it up, it's got to be.
It's got to be Jameis.
It's got to be.
It's got to be.
Somebody voted for Mike White. So, I mean, whatever. That's cool. But, yeah, it's Jameis won. Could you imagine Jameis in the locker room giving the post-game speech?
No.
Wait.
No.
Could you imagine Josh giving a Jameis Winston speech? He would be like Joel Osteen.
No.
He would be just like him with the twinkle in his eye, the gleam in his tooth. It'd be awesome. The curl, everything would be there. It'd be right.
It's funny you said that because I just watched a video when he was with Tampa Bay and he was giving a speech and he was rhyming.
Yeah.
Right? And then after he went through it, they showed him and Fitz on the sideline because Fitzpatrick was there. He was like, hey, your speech was a little long.
Yeah.
A little long there. It was good, but it was just a little long. you could have shortened
that up a little bit, abridged it just a bit.
Everything that happened on Sunday with the Browns versus the Ravens is exactly why I do not want Winston here.
Hey, he beat Lamar Jackson.
That's why I don't want him here. That is what's wrong with Jameis Winston. Every single time he does something miraculous like that, everybody's like, oh, this dude is so raw. I want him here. He can suck on his fingers every single day of the week for all I care. I do not want Jameis Winston in this build. Exactly. Yeah, all of that. I do not want him here. He should never be 2 feet near the building at any point in time. Nowhere.
It's like what he said, you got to play for each man. Play for the logo on your chest. Play for the logo on your helmet.
Oh, we don't have.
We don't really have no logos on our helmet. Anyway, he thought like, we ain't got no logos on our helmet, but it's all right.
That's what I'm saying. Like you know who he's the perfect quarterback for?
Who?
The Jets.
Yeah,
he's the perfect quarterback for the Jets. They have no soul right now.
I don't want to play against them.
He would will somebody to play them.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. He needs to be on the worst team. Who's the worst team in the league right now?
Probably the Panthers.
The Panthers?
Oh, yeah.
Let him go to the Panthers.
I would like to see that experiment.
Listen,
I would love to see that
that's
experiment.
the guy that you hired to build up some spirit back in your team right before you go 0-16.
Especially if you're young.
Right.
If you're young, that'd be nice. But I think come out to a 3-0 start, you'd be like, what's going on with the Panthers? And then they lose all the rest of them. But, that's the Jameis Winston experience.
We are about to see this next Sunday with him being the full-time starter and a team being able to plan for him to play.
Who are they playing this week?
I'm
gonna look at it. Go ahead.
Whoever they playing, he about to whoop them. He about to whoop them.
What about the other games where he throws six interceptions? Like
6 touchdowns.
Yeah, there you go.
That's on the defensive stop him. He did his job.
Is that what this is? The fact that he get, like Laura just said, Jameis gives MLK speeches and it's hilarious.
He does.
That's why he gets the love?
He lives rent free in my head, dude. He lives rent free in my head.
Why?
Well, one, Instagram got him all over the place.
So I guess for me, let's say he had the speeches, but he wouldn't win, then he would just be like, all right, dude, just shut up.
Who's this clown?
It seems like, I'm not saying it's the speeches, but like whatever he doing is working.
But what has he won, thoa? Like, has he ever taken a team to the playoffs?
Well, no, here's the thing.
Here's
the thing.
That's what I'm talking about.
I don't think anybody expects him to be elite in any terms, but the fact that he's just a really good backup quarterback that, like, I don't know. That's
why they show all those offseason workouts where he's like getting hit by all the things he's not supposed to get hit by. He's fumbling over. That's why when they show that stuff and then you go to the sideline and he's willing men are listening. These guys have no choice. They're like, yo, this dude knows something.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I would never want him to be my starting quarterback.
Nah.
But my backup?
Absolutely.
Sign me up. Sign me up for that. All day long.
And I'm starting to really want it because his head would explode. But you know who's wouldn't? Marmar's wouldn't.
I can't wait to replace him.
Yo, did y'all hear? Do y'all know that Keon Coleman has the as far as coverage goes, he's the number one wide receiver in the NFL who's seen the most man-to-man coverage.
Good.
They man-to-man coverage him more than any other wide receiver in the league.
And he making them pay.
Yeah.
So now my question is that a good thing or is that a bad thing?
Obviously a good thing.
But now,
for us, yeah.
So for example, we're going against Miami, right? Week 2 to this week, the defense coordinator already said Keon Coleman is not the same guy in week 2. So my question is, do they change up their scheme? Because everybody else been giving them one-on-one. They're like, yeah, you got to prove it. One-on-one, everybody. So now he's been making a name for himself. Do you bracket him? Do you still do one-on-one? Like, what do you do?
You can't bracket him. You can't. Because one, what's the linebacker? David Long, whatever, he's bad. Seiler's out probably because he broke his eye bone.
Holland ain't playing.
Huh?
Holland's
not playing. Javon Holland's not playing. So you bracket Keon, this is exactly what we want. Everybody eats because guess what? You take Keon out, we got 3 more dudes like him that can take over.
Right.
Secure this one for 100 last game.
Right.
Go ahead and let Dawson Knox get one. Go ahead and let Kincaid get a couple.
But if everybody, so let's say that happens, everybody eat but Keon, how does that make him feel? Like, do he think that he's regressing or he's not as good because he started on a good trajectory, now he's starting to plummet? But it's not really his fault. It's because the defense changed the way they're checking him. So, like, mentally, I'm worried about his development. Like, is that going to get in his head where he's don't think that he's good enough or that he's not that guy? Or
no, he thinks the game at an all-pro level. Right, his approach, and we've talked about this several times. His approach to the game is it's a number one wide receiver's mentality. How serious he takes it, him wanting to know what everybody's doing. These are all things that he said before in interviews. That speaks to a mentality to have a complete understanding of how he can affect the game in general. Right, so I think he's smart enough to know, football at a certain level to where if he's seeing himself being double covered. Listen, y'all could double cover me all the time. If it's getting my boys open,
right.
that's on y'all. So y'all want to keep double teaming me?
Yeah.
Y'all got boys over there. Y'all need to cover. Now what y'all gonna do?
Right.
I think he would take it that way.
Oh my God, I'm sorry.
I was gonna say, obviously, what also goes with a number one receiver's mentality is, I got to learn how to beat double coverage and get open anyway.
Right.
And I do think that's something that Keon has is he'll figure it out. I mean, he's been figuring it out this whole time. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, y'all can play me one-on-one. Yeah, I can't run the cleanest routes, but I figure it out every time I score a touchdown on y'all.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I was just going to say, as a obviously basketball player, same concept applies. If you're double teaming me, you fear me.
Yeah.
So if I don't have any catches because they doubled me the whole game, they feared me the whole time.
So that confidence is like, I'm that dude.
I'm that. Y'all already see what I can do.
Me.
You already see what I am.
I got all the other dudes, but y'all worried about me.
Right. This man just went out for 100 on you. Yeah. This man started as one of the best tight ends in the game right now. This man, but you double team me.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
You're like, wrong move. But if you leave single coverage, Josh, toss it up.
Yeah. Watching what he did to Woolen, watching what he did to all of their corners, where Woolen especially, because Woolen is their best corner. He bullied Woolen the whole game. The block where he just pushed him down and just pointed at him. Like, but the way he did it was just like, it's nothing. It's nothing to me.
Right.
This ain't nothing.
Right.
I do this every day. Like, I would run through a wall for that.
I feel like he was playing chess. Because think about it. The first altercation they had, he got Woolen beat him.
Yeah.
And he was like, okay. After that was it.
Right.
Like, I don't know if he told his tail, like, this is how you play or this is how you going to play me. Like, I don't know what it was, but it was like you just hit a switch. He was like, oh, okay. And then he just went beast mode on him.
Yeah.
He would run through a wall for Keon, but he won't run through a wall for Jameis. Come on now.
Not at all.
Come on.
Not at all. The second the fingernail touches the lip, I'm out of here, y'all. I can't play.
You ain't eating W's?
Nope. Y'all on your own.
This man ain't eating W's.
Quarterbacks. Y'all running backs is on your own. Coach, sit me down.
Jameis, pass me his W, man. Pass me his dub.
You know what I'm going to be like? Like on Key and Peele where the dude was watching for the pelvic thrust. As soon as that nail, I'm going to be right there watching that nail hit the lip. As soon as nope, I'm done. I'm going to take me out. Sit me down. That's it.
Anybody want seconds? Anybody want seconds? Because I'm about to get that second dub. He going to be doubleless.
Okay. The only reason he is going to have success the rest of the season is because the team around him is so great. And the sad part about that is he had a very similar situation his last season in Tampa and couldn't stop himself from throwing 30 interceptions. He had the quarterback whisperer playing with him and could not get him to throw less than 30 interceptions. If Bruce Arians can't get him to play well or be consistent, the only other person in the league that I can think of that might be able to do it is Andy Reid. He's not getting nowhere near Andy Reid.
He was consistent.
What? 30
interceptions? Consistent.
Consistently throwing interceptions. That's what you're going with?
Touchdowns, interceptions. Alternating. Consistent.
You in the clink for that. Nope, that's it. You in the clink. You can't talk for 5 minutes.
Yo, that would be funny. That would be funny if he wind up in KC backing up Mahomes.
That would be hilarious. I'm like, yo, hey, guess what?
That would be hilarious. I'm not gonna lie. That would be hilarious.
It'd be hilarious for more than one reason now.
Man,
just because he made that statement.
I think Andy would do it just to laugh, just to be able to get a chuckle out of it, because he don't care.
How would Mahomes treat him?
That'd be weird.
Like if he give him those speeches, Mahomes, would he tell him to shut up? Like, yo, I got this, or yo, Jameis, stop.
He'd be like, what are you talking about?
Right.
But I think Kelsey would hype him up though.
Kelsey would. Go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
Why do we think Kelsey would do that?
Because that's the kind of guy he is.
Yeah, that's the type of mentality Kelsey is, man.
He's a jokester.
Yeah,
he's like, yo, this dude's a clown. Go ahead, keep going, my man. Say the prayer.
That is not the mentality I want my team to have. Just have some clown out there sucking his fingers and giving speeches that mean absolutely nothing.
He just do it that was just like 2 times.
Huh?
That was like after they didn't get no W's, he didn't do it no more.
Once was enough.
You probably only did it one time. They probably said that. He's like, once is enough. He's like,
all right.
He's like, I feel blessed today to be in the house of football. You can't win them all, but we stood tall.
30-second clip. Where your microphone?
Again? How does this keep happening to me?
Way down. I jive turned you way down. All right. Moving right along. What else we got and stuff we heard?
That's gonna be bad when I got stuff, right?
Huh?
You turn me down, but I got stuff.
Mac.
So tread that line. Do we make another move before the deadline?
We have to.
You think so?
We have to.
If we do, what is it?
Never mind.
Honestly,
yeah,
linebacker.
Really?
Linebacker.
I've seen mocks that we were gonna get. Like don't be surprised if the Bills get a linebacker.
Yeah, it's supposed to be Owusu more, but he just got knocked. He got knocked off.
You know what?
Right.
You know what I just saw?
What?
Robert Spillane.
Ooh,
wait, that's real?
From Vegas?
Yeah.
Dang.
Ooh.
Bro.
I got
that's the tackle machine right there.
I got to text my man. I told my dude, I said, where you getting this information from? Yeah. He's like, trust me, Key. I'm like, no, I don't trust nothing you say. I call him Tony Miller because he's like Von's brother. Everything he say don't happen.
Well, okay, so
am I back up now? Or did you really not turn me down? Where am I?
No, you back up.
Okay.
Yeah,
Thank you, sir.
Leak is saying linebacker will be a redundant move with Milano coming back. I don't think so. Yeah. I think if they make this move, they understand Milano's not going to be the same. I think part of that is do you mind if I just jump into the okay. So part of the reason why I think it's got to be linebacker is you have one linebacker in Matt Milano who has not played a full season since he became a starter. Not one. Mm-hmm. Right? If you look at Bernard, he in 2021 he missed 3 games. 22 he missed 3 games. 23 he missed 2 games. This year he's already missed 3 games. And it's we just got to the half point of the season. We don't know what other games he's going to miss this season. Mm-hmm. What I'm saying is I think the linebacker experiment that this team has done, taking safeties and turning them into linebackers, looks great when they can play, right? But how many games did we see Tremaine Edmonds missing? He might miss 1.
Maybe, yeah.
Maybe. Yeah. But the man was consistently in the game. Yep. He wasn't as great against the pass as these other linebackers are, but he was in the game. What's the one thing that Sean McDermott harps on all the time? He says it's the most important ability that any player can have.
Availability.
And these linebackers are now showing they cannot be depended on a regular basis to be there for their team. And it's not a slight on their talent. They are extremely talented, and I would love to have one full season of seeing these two guys play together. I dreamed about it going into this season.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I think what we're seeing now, the evidence is showing us we can't count on that. So to your point, Lee, I don't think it will be a redundancy if the team is now accepting and understanding that the linebacker experiment, and I'm calling it an experiment. They aren't calling it an experiment, but I think not many teams in the league are confident taking safeties and turning them into linebackers as consistently as the Bills have. Anyway, with that said, I do think it's got to be linebacker. If you want to really not have to count on Matt Milano coming back, and you want to save yourself from the inconsistencies of a Dorian Williams, you plan on Bernard coming back, which is fine. You know what I'm saying? Because none of the injuries that he's had so far are terrible. Right. But you plan for him to come back. You still got Balen Spector, who's played well in Bernard's stead, and you go get another linebacker to play alongside Bernard when he comes back healthy. You know what I'm saying? To me, that shores up the defense in a way that would matter more than going to get another safety or going to get another pass rusher. Would it be great to have Myles Garrett on the team? Yeah, but again, if a team is double or triple teaming, Myles Garrett or running at him, which is another way you can mitigate the pass rush, you have to worry about your linebackers getting swallowed up in this scheme. You know what I'm saying? And I think Spillane's especially is one of those guys where he a banger.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I would love to have him on the team.
Yeah. The other thing I saw, I got to check with Keyshawn with this. Khalil Shakir, next year is his last year, correct? What if so right now his numbers is looking good. What if he put up like good receiver numbers and he wants another contract? Would we be able to pay him what he's worth?
Yeah.
Would we?
Yeah.
Do we know what his worth is right now?
So basically, they're shopping around, and his number might be like 22, 23 million. I don't think we got that. We got that?
Easily. Yeah, easily. You got to remember, after next year, as long as we don't do anything else crazy, we're good. So, and it's not going to be all towards the cap. You got to remember, some of it doesn't go towards the cap.
Right, that's true.
You spread it out however you want.
Right.
5-year contract, whatever you want to do. Yeah, you can easily do that. Afford it.
Because I think being the caliber player that he is and what he's been doing right now, like he leads the league in, was it targets per attempted per catch? Like he has the highest percentage right now.
Yeah, it's
was it 97 something like that?
Catch percentage.
Catch percentage. He has the highest in the NFL right now, right? So my thing is this: you gonna want to get paid, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, can't. And I would be pissed if they let this dude go.
You want to hear what his market value is right now?
His market value?
His market value.
30.
Can't be that high.
$18.3 million annual salary.
Right now?
They're looking at a 4-year, $73 million contract for Khalil Shakir. That's his value right now.
Immediately.
You would do that right now?
Immediately.
For $18 million a year?
Immediately.
I mean, there's other lesser wide receivers making more than him.
That's number 2 money. So he would have to like that.
I wouldn't even blink an eye.
Yeah.
You can't pay him $18 million with what you're going to have next year.
What do you mean?
When we looked at the numbers, and this was just if we got Myles Garrett. When we looked at the numbers, the only way to get that $19 million that we talked about having with Myles Garrett here was if we got rid of Greg Rousseau.
Well, that's on top. Well, you got to remember, like I said, if you're gonna extend the guy or re-sign him, you can structure however you want. With the Myles Garrett contract, that was just us trying to build as much as possible. We didn't have to get rid of Greg Rousseau, but he was redundant at that point. That's why we were like, let's trade him, get rid of him. While we still have because our thought was, what could we get for him while it's hot? We could have easily kept him and got Myles Garrett and been fine. I think we still would have had like almost $10 million. So, if you're talking about Khalil Shakir, the way I'm thinking, I value Khalil Shakir as a number 1.
Yeah.
Right.
And if McDermott and Bean wake up and their scouting team wakes up, guess what? You draft somebody. Cost control contract.
But we have what, 10 draft picks right now? something like that. We have
10
a lot.
or 11. Yeah.
It's close to 10. With those draft picks, we would still have almost 15 other positions to fill after those draft picks, with only $10 million to cover the draft picks and whoever else we sign in free agency. You're still talking about 20 some odd positions, over 20 positions that you have to fill with $10 million right now.
That's when the roster gymnastics happen. The salary cap gymnastics. It can be done. So I mean, that's it. It really sounds daunting, but
are you talking about like restructures and stuff like that?
No, you really don't have to do that. It's not. When you're extending somebody or when you're re-signing somebody, it's not as hard as if we're just bringing somebody along for the ride. You know, we were talking about guys that were making in excess of $20 million and stuff like that when we were talking about who could we bring in to help the team immediately. This is, you're talking about 10 guys, which is, that would put us at, how many guys do we have? Let me look real quick. We have 45 guys on the roster next year. Okay, so next year, if we do nothing right now, 45 guys. You got 10 more draft picks. Easy peasy. We have $10 million in cap space right now. So if you give Khalil Shakir $18 million, we'll say, you can make his cap number $4 million next year and then go on from there if you wanted to. So, I mean, you could do a whole bunch of stuff to make this work.
Watch this.
What?
Keep on. Go ahead. Finish.
I'm
I got you now.
scared
Go ahead. I know you're scared. It's okay.
No, I'm not scared.
It's all right.
But you can make it work.
You can, huh?
Mm-hmm.
You can make it work?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So how about when we were talking about in the offseason, all those players that we were talking about, man, why we don't sign him? Why we can't get him? Why we can't trade for him? Because we can't afford it.
I just told you why, though. I just told you why.
What
because when you're re-signing and restructuring, re-signing and extending, it's different than bringing somebody in their contract along with them. You can't trade.
I get it, but essentially the back end of that point is still the same. Essentially, they work out different ways of structuring contracts fit this contract.
You realize in 2024 we had no money, right? Next year we have money to use.
What?
We had no money this year.
We mean no money.
We didn't have any money.
We obviously did.
For what? One-year contracts?
For Curtis Samuel? One-year contracts are more detrimental to a team than
that's why Curtis Samuel has a 3-year contract with really a 1-year contract.
No,
Taylor Rapp
I get it.
Because they put a whole bunch of void years. When did they spill the money into? Next year, for a reason. Why did they spill the money in 2026? For a reason. The reason is because they didn't have the money now, so they're going to put it in the next 2 years where we do have more money.
The reason that teams are going to 1-year contracts now is not because it's easier for the teams. It's because we are in a transition period of position values.
Well, yeah, 1-year contract, but these aren't 1-year contracts. I'm talking about teams with voidable contracts. The reason why the only reason they could sign a Curtis Samuel to $8 million deal is by spreading it over 3 years. He would never come to Buffalo for what Mike Edwards signed for.
But the voidable contract is just as detrimental to a team as a 1-year contract is.
It's worse to me.
Well, yeah, I agree. Mm-hmm. To me, it's a little bit worse, but they're both bad for a team. And looking at what Von Miller has left on his contract in voidable years and what MVS had in voidable years, like that to me is like, yo, like how can you, to me it's throwing away money essentially. Like I want you to come play for my team and I'll give you what I think you're worth, and if you like it, cool, but I don't actually want to commit to you for 3 years. I just want it to look like I do.
Well,
so what I'll do is I'll give you a consistent amount of money over those 3 years, but the last 2 years of that contract, if I want to get out of it, I can if I don't like you.
No, because of avoidable year, you don't have them. They're not on my team. I'm just paying you. So I have to extend you for you to be a part of my team. So if
on a voidable year?
Yeah, you're not on my team. You're dead cap.
So
if I don't extend you, you're gone, but you still pay. You still cost against my cap.
So why even add a voidable year?
I just told you. Because they can't afford to pay him in 1 year. So like Mike Edwards signed for league vet men, and he said 1 year done. Fine. Curtis Samuel said, no, I want, let's say $20 million. Bill's like, we want you, but we can't do 20 mil. How about we do this? We'll give you the money, but we'll spread it over 3 years. So it'll hit us for the next 2 years, but you're not on the team anymore. Like Jordan Poyer. He had voidable years. We're still paying Jordan Poyer on the cap. per se. So that's what this is going back to what you said though.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to like checkmate you, but when you said why did I say last year? Because I wanted this situation now for next year. Now we have to. Now if we restructured 1 million people. We have nobody else to restructure, and so what's happening now is we have to put these voidable years on people if we want them and we want them to play. Curtis Samuel, Mike Edwards, easy peasy. Those kind of contracts, easy. That's all they can afford, but they can't get talent with that.
Right, but I would have preferred to have the $10 million this year as opposed to next year.
I know.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I
Because
know.
next year there's so many. Half of our team is going to be gone. Like
Why you think I
literally
was-
half the team.
Why do you think I was like pulling my hair out when everybody said restructuring and voidables? Because that's all a restructure is, to add voidable years. And I'm like, no, you got to pay the piper. And the piper, I wanted to reset because I thought 2024 was going to be a reset year. I didn't know we were going to be this good.
Well, it was supposed to be. It's
Right.
just the rest of the league is bad. Like
bad.
honestly, the Bills are this good because Josh Allen is playing at the next level in his evolution. That's really, I mean, honestly, what on the team other than the run game is significantly better than last year?
I'm glad you said that.
I got a little bit of CYA there, just so I don't get blown out the water. No, but seriously, like to me,
the only
that's
thing I would say. I didn't mean to cut you up. The only thing I would say that plays better last year is, believe it or not, Von's pass rush. Now this is this is corny, but when I was writing my notes out, I was like, man, both our pass rushes are Von's, Javon and Von.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, the Vons are gonna do this because we're not getting it anywhere else.
yeah.
You know, I was arguing with my man. He was like, because he said, Key, will we call Chase Young a bust? I said, not a bust, but if you want to be a pass rusher, yeah. But I said, but if you're talking about like a Rousseau, he's like, what is your beef with this dude? I said, I don't have a beef with him. He's just not a pass rusher.
Except for the fact that Epinesa is leading the team.
I mentioned that. He said, damn. He's like, you just saw me. I didn't see him, but I was talking to him. He was like.
But I do remember they did take a couple sacks with him for a penalty though.
I was still wondering what
Rousseau?
Yeah,
He had that one.
I think he had 2 sacks. I think if without penalties, he would have 2 more sacks on his.
I don't know if it's penalties because the one, well, maybe, but the one that I'm thinking about distinctly on the broadcast was a Seahawks game when Geno got stepped on. They said that was Rousseau's sack.
The one where he got his foot, right?
Yeah, the fourth and one. Yeah, but
yeah.
but it's not in the stat sheet. I'm
Yeah,
like,
it should have been his.
yeah, I thought that was him.
Yeah.
So
And then there was another one I think that was taken away.
I'm sure. I'm sure.
Because what Ebenezer beat him by 1, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Well, technically by a half because
Yeah.
Rousseau's got 3.5.
because technically, I think if without those penalties, he would be the leading sack on the team. But
And I mean, when I text you guys that I had him at 5.5. I was like,
yeah.
we're at 8 games, week 9 now, and 5.5 sacks. I mean, that's hardly a pass rushing guy. I mean, you know, he's getting to the quarterback in spurts. You know, against bad guys, he's racking it up. Six rushes, but you got no sacks. How does that work? You know, you got what was it, the most knockdowns or whatever it was, most quarterback hits, but you didn't.
I think it's pressures.
Pressures.
Yeah.
But you didn't record. That tells you just a step slow, just a step, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Right.
But you need somebody on the other side that has that step to get to him.
Because if you get pressure, you push him towards
push
the
him
good
to
pass.
that other
rusher.
guy.
Now you straight.
And that's why, you know, I wanted to talk about it a little bit because somebody asked us a question. You had a lot of comments you said you wanted to read too.
I do. Let me see here. So Laura says I have 1-game contracts for my fantasy team. It's a revolving door of players. You're in, then you're out.
I'm guessing there's no cap on
Man,
the
shout out to Laura. She making it work with that fantasy team, man. She ain't at the bottom, but she
making it work.
Man, she's struggling.
Well, I think Roy already saw that, so he probably muted us already.
Huh?
Roy saw it in the camera, so he muted us.
Probably.
you know what one of my goals is?
What's that?
To get Roy into fantasy football.
You're going to be working for a long
Man,
time.
listen, Roy. How do we get this done, bro? How do we get you into fantasy football? What is
Because
it going to
if
take?
he never done it before,
I think
he's
he said
missing
he
out.
did a long time
I
ago.
say,
I think he said he did
If
a
he
long
did
time
it,
ago.
then that'd be something different. But if he's never done it before,
Yeah, but if he did it back when it was
On
in
paper.
newspapers,
Yeah,
like
I
that's
think
way different. You can't
Yeah.
count those times.
Yeah, those are tough. I wouldn't bet around
Yeah.
for that. There's no way I'd be
You
around
know,
for that.
like you gotta meet in person. You gonna be sitting there for 12 hours doing a fantasy draft. Ain't no way, bro. No way.
Yeah, you know how much.
Let's see. Sink A. Chandler says Shakir and St. Brown differs due to the fact that Brown can be a wide receiver 1 or 2. I don't know. I mean, I've not seen St. Brown play outside.
He's nice.
I know he's nice.
He's nice.
I don't doubt that at all.
Yeah, he can play both inside and outside. He's that dude.
This is what I glean because you got more comments, I know, but going into what I'm going to talk about, we were asked at the end of the last show, I forgot who asked us the question, but they asked us, are the Bills possibly the best team in the league right now? And I said, yeah, you said no.
Yep.
So I wanted to get into that, just not right now, but for just a little bit. But go with the comments.
Yeah. Okay. Laura says, isn't it funny how some players are super injury prone and others aren't? It's not strength or conditioning either from what I see. Bad luck? Don't know. Sad though. I think for the linebackers, there's the body we develop is built to carry the weight that it's built to carry. If you are a safety build, if you come into football and you've been playing your whole career, your body is used to playing a certain position, and then you get put into another position where you now have to add weight onto that body that is probably in its prime. It's only downhill from that point, right? And you start putting weight onto that thing and adding extra responsibility and extra, contact and stuff like. As a safety, you don't really see that much contact. You're the furthest player away from every play most of the time. And as a linebacker, you're right in the middle of it most times. So to go through that transition the way that Bernard has and the way that Milano has in a pass first defense like we play, yes, it's the utmost beneficial thing that you can have in a linebacker, but you got to keep in mind the toll that's going to take in a safety being put into a linebacker position. Matt Milano, when he came in the league, did not have biceps like that. He was not built that way, and neither is Bernard. And I think to a degree, Milano realized in order for me to be more effective and be less hurt, I got to put more weight on my body. It's the same exact thing that we watched James Cook do. And then what happened? He realized, I can't keep playing with that weight. James Cook took it off. You know what I'm saying? And I think Milano's probably at the point where he's realizing he's going to have to take it off. So I don't know. What do y'all think about that? Because to me, that's the reason why the linebackers are suffering.
Well, I would call that Greg Oden syndrome. I was looking at pictures actually of Milano at Boston College while you were talking, and I think his senior year he really bulked up. Mm-hmm. So he must have been planning to make the transition to linebacker in the league. Mm-hmm. But yeah, before that, he wasn't big. And I know, from personal experience, I throw my picture around of my senior year in high school, or no, my junior year, where my arms were about the size of the straw here on this cup, and and I was probably about 6'6", 168 pounds. But then when I went to college, when I met you, I was 190. I thought I was a big dude, but T told me I was not a very big dude. And then when I started playing football, I got 260, 270, 280, and up as far as 320. But 320 makes your body hurt. I haven't jumped for real in 15 years, and yeah, it's hard to do the things that like you said, that your body is meant to do when you're at an abnormal size. Now, does your body adapt to it? Sure, but that's when you get slower. Mm-hmm. And I think Milano, I don't want to say it's genetics that he keeps getting hurt, but when you think about it, what happens when you use PEDs and stuff like that? You got to come off it. Look at Sean Merriman. What happened? Yep. He fell apart. Yeah. All his injuries, soft tissue injuries, bone injuries, this, that. And that's what we're seeing with Milano. Yep. So I don't want to say he was using anything in college to get that size, but it's trending that way. It seems
like it. The way his body's breaking down, it does seem like
trending
that's the route that I was going to go when she said, look at the injuries, because I'm not just looking at Buffalo. I'm looking at the injuries across the NFL. I think it has a lot to do with the medicine, because you figure back in the day, guys played, but they played hurt, and we knew they were hurt. Mm-hmm. Now they giving them stuff to where, oh, you're good, where they don't feel the pain, so they're playing like, okay, boom. Mm-hmm. But then when they get hurt or when they get boom, like the injuries are, to me, they're more, as far as time-wise, they're more serious. Mm. Like you look at like Run CMC and all the Pacheco, like all these top-tier players are getting hurt. Like crazy quarterbacks, wide receivers, running backs. Like there's a ton of slew of wide receivers and top players that are getting hurt. And I think maybe because it's the advanced science and technology that we got, where we can give him this, he'll be fine. But at the end of the day, you got to pay the reaper in it, and it's costly. Like you fill me up with all these medicines and all these meds so I could play, but when I get hurt, my body don't know how to react to it.
You know what it is too when you compare them to the old school. You know what's different? The CBA. They used to be wearing pads in training camp. They used to be two-a-days. They used to be so they were getting hit all the time.
Right.
You know, these guys now. You see these guys and look at the speed. They're fast. What's that mean?
Yeah.
That means
way faster.
they're so much faster.
Yep.
But their bodies aren't built as thick as those guys because those guys were lifting weight.
Them dudes was thick.
Yeah,
boys.
and so you didn't see all these cuts, and
Nope.
they were just huge.
Yep.
You know, so I think that lends to a lot of the way they're composing bodies now. It lends to the way that they're training people. You know, sometimes you got to go back to the Ivan Drago workout where you're lifting cement blocks and stuff like that.
Right.
You know, everything can't be done on a Stridex machine and all this nonsense. You have to sometimes use the old tried and true.
Yeah. Back to our original conversation about the safeties. Whitetown's King says, a new safety doesn't beat the Chiefs. Coaching better in the playoffs beats the Chiefs.
I agree.
I mean, it is what it is.
I agree.
Super Promo says Pittsburgh is still 6-2. Also, in the talk about conference record, that is very true. So, for some reason, I want to say I think Pittsburgh would have to be behind us because they were already behind us in the standings. But I'd have to see what that looks like after this week because that may change with their who did they just beat?
Pittsburgh.
Who did they just beat? They played. It was a team. It was a team I wanted to win too. I wanted them to beat the
Pittsburgh played
Steelers.
Steelers
Played
played
the Giants.
It was the Giants. Right.
that's right.
Okay. So yeah, that was an NFC team. So that didn't really matter that much. Yeah, their conference record might be worse than ours, but we also lost to 2 AFC teams too. So
Yeah, like they beat the Falcons, NFC. They beat the Broncos. They beat the Chargers, NFC. They lost to the Colts. That's an AFC team.
Chargers are AFC.
Yeah. They lost to the Colts. They lost to the Cowboys. Beat the Raiders, beat the Jets, and then beat the Giants.
Raiders, Jets. So they might be tied with us because who did we beat? We beat Cardinals. Then we beat Dolphins. Then we beat Jaguars.
It was a black dude. I've been trying to figure out who we played for the longest time. I couldn't remember. It's been a black hole of who we played.
Then we lost to Ravens, Texans. Then we beat who? Titans?
Titans and Seahawks.
Titans, Jets. Yeah, so that's 4 AFC
Jets,
wins.
Seahawks, yeah.
And then Seahawks. Yeah, so our record is tied right now.
And then the Steelers' schedule is they get tougher just like ours do. So they still got to play the Ravens twice. They got to play the Browns twice. They got to play the Eagles. They got to play the Chiefs. They got to play the Bengals. Like they got to play the Commanders. Like they got a tough schedule.
So I think if the conference record is tied, doesn't it go to point differential, like margin of victory, or is that? Hold on.
There's too many things.
You want to try to look that up?
I know AFC opponents go first, and then it goes from like teams. But after that, I don't know what they go for. So, like for example, if we played the same teams and you beat them or you lost to them, you'll win that tiebreaker.
Yeah. Okay. I get what
After that, I don't know what it boils down to.
Okay. All right. Thomas Staples, what's going on, my man? He was the first dude in the chat. Sorry it took so long for us to get back to you. He says, how y'all feel about this Dolphins defense versus our offense this time around?
Bro, their defense is banged up, probably worse than ours is.
A lot worse.
A lot worse.
Yeah.
And I heard on the radio, like, their pass rush is non-existent.
That's why.
They cannot get pressure to save their life.
All their pass rushers are hurt.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So going into this game, the only thing that I'll give them credit for is they are pissed off at the Bills.
They got to be.
Pissed off at the Bills, right? Secondly, at this point, what do they got to play for? Like, they're down bad. Like, honestly, like, I can't see them. I don't know. Like, to me, they lost too many games already.
The Dolphins?
Yeah.
They still have a shot. They have a shot.
Yeah, but so the only thing I'll give them is they're mad and they're playing angry. But I don't think they don't have the horsepower.
Yeah. I think they'll, because one of the things they stopped doing, which kind of shocked me before, is they stopped running the ball as much. And they didn't really seem to make the adjustments in the run game either. They kept trying to run that little gadget jet sweep handoff or something like that, or some type of variation of run to the outside. And one of the things that I saw the Dolphins do last year that scared us to death was run into that B gap. They would run to that B gap on either side and get the linebacker to commit, and then A-Chain would either bounce it outside or he would be able to get through that A gap because that was blocked off well enough and go off for 10 to 12 yards per carry. You know what I'm saying? I think if they're really mad, we'll see more of that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We gonna hit you where we know it's gonna hurt. You need to show us you can stop the run. I think that first, and then the other thing second is I think they didn't try as much downfield stuff as they usually do against us. You know what I'm saying? It almost seemed like they thought they could win sideline to sideline and just be faster than us that way, or trying to get us to take a wrong first step. This defense is too disciplined against their offense, and you combine that with the way that we play their timing. There's just no way you can beat that if you're depending on the Bills to take a wrong step in a certain direction and then trick us and get us off the ball that way. So
Yeah.
I think this is going to be a 40 burger hung on these boys.
The wild card to me, though, is not their defense, it's Tua.
Yeah.
To me, that's the wild card. Like, if Tua was like, yo, y'all took me out, I'm about to tear y'all up. Like, if he can get a passing game with Waddle and Hill, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm more worried about that than I'm not really worried about their defense stopping us from scoring. I'm worried about Tua being like, I'm about to pay back. Like,
Wait a minute.
I'm coming for
Not
y'all.
you, because you're the same guy that brought up the stat that Tyreek Hill does not play good against Sean McDermott.
He don't.
So
but
there we go.
I'm saying
Leave it.
they're mad. They pissed. Matter of fact, I ain't hear clips of Tyreek all season, bro. Like,
What you gonna say?
I haven't heard nothing.
But if your little brother's mad at you, how much does that really matter? Like, you can't beat me in a fight. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I will say, to your point, yeah, that's true. Like, even as hard as they go, you still gonna beat them. But they always got that surprise attack.
That's true.
That's true. That you ain't coming for.
They might kick
punch
me in the
you
nuts that
right
one
in your
time.
nose, boom. Like, oh snap! I ain't see that coming. So yeah, like I'm not worried that we're gonna lose the game. But if anything that I'm worried about, like I said, is Tua being the wild card. If he plays good, he can make it a game.
I mean, we definitely give Tua more credit than most Miami fans do. I agree.
Do you think is? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say I agree that Tua is a wild card. I was thinking that too. When I was doing the marker for the game, I was thinking in my notes that's the determining factor, not in the win or loss, but how easy this is going to be.
Yeah.
Because Tua was surgical. When was that? Sunday or when did he play?
Oh yeah, Sunday. Yeah.
He was surgical then, and I mean he went 28 of 38 for 234 and a touchdown, no interceptions. First read was the ball was out. You know when he slid, the whole place went bananas. So he's sliding.
Yeah, there was like he slid. Yes.
But that's what we do too. And Josh, that one time, Josh was like, "Thank God."
Who'd they play though? They played the Cardinals.
The Cardinals. They almost had them.
Lost by one.
They almost had them. They lost by one. But
Cardinals, yeah.
But one thing I saw, I gotta give him credit. Marvin Harrison, torching Ramsey.
Yeah, he was.
Giving him the business.
Wow.
Yo, he was giving Ramsey the business.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
I'm like, Ramsey, man, he used to be that dude.
He's over with.
He falling off,
Yeah,
man.
it's over with. He's 31, I think, now. So, yeah, it's about that time. But that time to be humble, my friend.
Yeah. My man Whittle clearing things up for us. He says Bills have 2 conference losses versus Pittsburgh having 1, so that would put them ahead of us at number 2 in the conference, which is infuriating because Russell Wilson, he looks okay in that offense, but he don't look like the old Russ.
Just let it play out. Don't worry about it.
Just let it play out. Yeah, the rest of the rest of their schedule is not that hard. It's really not.
They have let's see, the easiest schedule for the rest of the season.
Yeah.
Who, the Steelers?
Yeah. Yeah, they might make the playoffs again this year, bro.
How you seeing his schedule is easy?
Well, I'm going by the
metric.
remaining metrics.
Oh, well, I don't follow that.
Man, this man would have recreated whole PFF. Let him do it.
All right, so let me explain.
Let him have it.
The metrics to me is like playing fantasy football and they give you the projected scores. They're never right.
You're right, because I always lose.
You know what I'm saying? Like they're never right. So I never.
You lose for a lot more reasons than that.
I never go off the projected. Like I'm looking at the schedule. Like one, they got to play the Ravens twice. The Ravens are not a chump team. So that's 2 hard games right there. Then you got KC. Then you got my man Jameis.
Famous Jameis?
Jameis now. Then you got the Bengals again. Like I don't see I don't see an easy team left on their schedule.
Famous Jameis.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, like I said, I'm not whatever. Like I don't go by that. But like from what I'm looking at, I don't see an easy team left.
Yeah. No, I agree with that.
And they got the Eagles.
Yeah.
And the Commanders.
Okay, we get it.
Well, the funny part is if you look on fantasy football and you look at the schedule there, it's green, gray, green.
Actually, no, I'm
no
sorry.
reds left.
I'm sorry. You're right. They have the hardest schedule. You're right. They
About
have
to
the
say,
hardest
yeah,
schedule.
but
They have the
yeah.
hardest schedule?
The hardest. I'm sorry. I read it backwards.
It's the easiest.
They played the 27th easiest.
Okay.
And they have now the hardest schedule.
Okay.
If you look on, hold on, I'm gonna prove it to you.
As a matter of fact,
You ain't
hold
got
on.
to, because I don't know any of it. I'm just going by what to sit on my
Let me
screen.
see. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, that's 5 playoff teams.
Yeah, let him play out.
Let me see if I can find this dude here.
I'm not gonna pull my hair out over this.
What do you mean?
We just got to play. We got to win the games we got to play. That's all you can do. If it ain't for that number one, now if Pittsburgh was number one, that'd be different.
On fantasy football, they have one team left in Week 15, which is Philly. That's in the red. Every other team, the Giants green, Washington gray, Baltimore third, giving up the third most passing yards to teams. Cleveland 12, Cincinnati 5, Cleveland 12, then Philly with 22. That's the red team. Then you got Baltimore green again, third, and then Kansas City 20th.
I'm about to blow your mind.
That's gray.
I never knew what those numbers meant.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's just where the teams rank against the pass.
Yeah, I had
or
no
whatever
idea. I was like, "What's this number mean?" I'm not gonna ask.
Well, there might be others like you out there. You know? So y'all just learned something today. That's what the numbers in Yahoo Fantasy mean.
Because put it this way, Keyshawn, case in point, in DraftKings, if you pick Kenneth Walker against the Bills, it was green 31.
Mm-hmm.
They were the 31 worst against. So
Yeah.
you saw the outcome was, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I'm saying. I don't go by the projections because to me they're never right.
Yeah. No, yeah, they have Pittsburgh at 85% chance of making the playoffs. Yeah, they have the Bills at the 12th hardest schedule coming up. Yeah, so they have
12th hardest, but we're 96%.
We're tied for the best. We're second in playoff chances, and we're tied for the first in win division titles. So we're tied with Kansas City for that.
Laura says, I think yo boy Marino said Miami hasn't won in Buffalo since 2016. I mean, I think this is going to be a party. I do, bro. I think this is going to be a laughable time in Buffalo, picking on poor Tua and the Dolphins. Listen, no disrespect to what Tua has built himself there in Miami.
Yeah.
He's the only reason that offense can do anything right now.
Yeah.
But if you are – see, I struggle to say limited because, I mean, like, let's be real. The dude led the league in passing yards the year before. Mm-hmm. But when you can only do that a certain way –
Right.
that you know, eventually teams are gonna figure you out. It's like you know, Cam Newton not being able to, you know, make all the reads, you know what I'm saying, or not being able to make his reads fast enough and relying too much on his athleticism. Eventually, defenses are gonna figure you out, and they gonna find a way to stop it. And unfortunately, they figured it out pretty quick.
And especially with Tua, everybody knows it's his timing.
Yeah,
you get the timing off, you got him.
Yep.
So.
Yep. I mean, look, right? Laura said it too. She said we just got to disrupt Tua's first read and we good. Yeah. Like everybody knows this is the thing. Miguel, what's going on? He says they won't say we beat anybody until we beat the Chiefs, and if we beat them, they'll say we can't beat them in the playoffs.
Exactly.
That's the Bills' existence in a nutshell.
Exactly.
But stuff like that is why I don't listen to this noise, and that's why like when people say, "Oh, I don't care about Josh being MVP. I don't care about the Bills being number one. I don't care. Do it on the field.
Yeah.
I don't care what people. It's just chatter. Yep. It's just something to make people. We're sitting here doing this right now. Yep. But if you get caught up in that stuff, you're gonna piss yourself off. Mm-hmm. And I got enough stuff going on. I don't want no more. It's not happening.
Right.
Yeah.
Because they'll suck you in, Key. They'll suck you in, and you be like, "What?"
Right.
Don't say nothing.
Don't do it.
Right. Right. Don't do it. Yeah. Like Steve said, Bills are evaluated in the playoffs. We have not been good and don't get past the divisional round. Realize that before talking about other playoff caliber. Oh, you going at people's head now. I don't think we can't talk about other playoff caliber teams. I think we do have to understand who we've been in the playoffs, and I think the equity that we've built up with an AFC Championship playoff game, playoff appearance, and the repeated playoff appearances has to have worn off by now. It has to have, and I think it's very tough to look at the entirety of what we've accomplished to this point and compare that to the talent that we've had on this team and say, yeah, this is exactly where we should have been.
Right.
That's not right. That's not. We should have been way further than this. Right. And I think most fans deep down, like if you were to have a private conversation with a fan, because I don't think anybody who calls himself a fan would publicly say like, yeah, we're not as good as we think we are in the playoffs. You don't say that about a team you love. Like I wouldn't talk about my wife that way. You know what I mean? Now. Privately, if I'm having a conversation with my pastor, or if I'm having a conversation with y'all or something like that, like, yeah, man, she got on my nerves today, man. Yeah, like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, but and that's okay. It's okay to have those conversations because at the end of the day, it's coming from a place of love for the team. Mm-hmm. In the same way that it would be coming from a place of love from me about my wife. Like, I'm not gonna talk about my wife because I don't care about her. Right. You know what I'm saying? If I want something to work, if I want a relationship to work, I'm going to bring it up because I want to see it get better. I want to see the work be done. I want to see things happen that point me in the direction of, all right, we on the right track. That's why I get so hyped about the adjustments that we make in game. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm going to keep saying this until we see it not work at some point this season. The Bills, in my mind, have been one of the best teams in the league at making in-game adjustments and doing what they have to do to put a team away. I would like to see it earlier, like we've talked about. I want to see that killer instinct in the first quarter. Yeah. Go for it on that. Like the fourth down that Sean McDermott, where the offense was on the field a little bit longer than they usually are. And it looked like they were thinking about it, and Josh was trying to say, like, give me a call, let's go. And then all of a sudden they decided to take everybody off. It's like, yo, if you was thinking about it, just go.
Right. But to me, right now we're 100% on fourth down.
Yeah,
that's good. So
you don't want to jinx it.
He don't want to mess it up.
Why not?
And then two. Here's another thing. Uh-huh. Do you really got to go for it against the Seahawks? Probably not. But I will say this though, because it's to me like 4-3 is different from 4-1. But if I'm playing the Lions or the Chiefs, you better go for it.
Every time.
Because if you don't, it's going to bite you. Exactly. Anytime you get them boys another opportunity, it's going to kill you. So I'm hoping, Sean, when we play those teams, your decision making is a little bit different. But I don't mind it for the Seahawks or for the Dolphins. Like, I don't mind it there. Because so far, every time he did it, he's right, 100%. But for that playoffs, though, I'll say this about the playoff Bills. To me, I could confidently say this. The only team that I'm worried about in the playoffs is the Chiefs.
Yeah.
We've beaten everybody else.
That's true.
Like, people say, oh, what about the Bengals? I get it. Again, 1 year wonders. They had the 1 year. If you think about it, we've won 5 out of 7 at home. The only 2 losses that Bills have at home is the Chiefs and the Bengals. That's it. We beat Lamar. We beat the Colts. We beat, like, everybody else. So, like, nobody else even scares me in the playoffs but the Chiefs.
Yeah.
So if we hit anybody else, I expect the Bills to win that.
No, the Chiefs is that just AFC or is that?
Well, the playoffs.
Well, I'm talking about outside the Super Bowl, or is that?
No, he's talking about playoffs. So that
about to say we gotta. I'm about to say, man. My thing is, if we can't get past the Chiefs, we ain't gonna never see the Super Bowl.
Well, I know that, but like you said, nobody scares you but them. And I was just curious if that was like for. I was just curious,
So, NFC wise, in the playoffs, the only teams that I don't want to play in the playoffs in the NFC is the Lions, and honestly, Minnesota.
Yeah.
Because any other team, I think it's not going to be a blowout. It's not going to be like, oh, we're going to come here and smack these boys. But I think after we play 4 quarters, I think we'll wind up the winner.
Yeah.
Even if we play San Fran, I think we can beat them.
Exactly.
But Minnesota and Detroit,
I want a piece of Detroit.
They look. Ooh,
Are we playing them this year?
I don't think you want the smoke,
Yes.
Keith.
I want the smoke.
I don't think you want the smoke.
Honestly, no.
I watched the hell out of that game because I want the smoke.
Yeah. In all seriousness, taking a strong look at who the Lions are. As strong of a performance as they've been putting up, they beat the undefeated Minnesota Vikings, and they've got all these wins by large margins, almost in the same way the Bills have, except they've done it against better teams or better competition. They are still very beatable on defense.
You think so?
Oh, yes, I do.
They scare me, man.
No. Aiden Hutchinson won't be able to come back until the Super Bowl.
That's true.
So they no longer have the same pass rush that they used to have.
That's true. And he's huge.
Exactly.
Huge.
And especially in the beginning of the season when they were mashing teams, it's because you just couldn't throw. You didn't have time to figure out where to get the ball.
Right.
So I think our offense against their defense is definitely a win.
Yeah.
And then
Our defense, I think. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
yeah, I was just gonna say, like, I am scared to play their offense. Though.
Their offense,
That offensive line is crazy good.
Montgomery.
I'm not.
Why?
One, their left tackle is horrible. Decker sucks. And I
They got
think
Petey Sewell?
Yes,
their guy.
that's their right tackle.
The right tackle.
Oh,
The
right
left tackle is
tackle.
horrible.
Okay.
And I just watched him like, yo, Vaughn would kill this dude.
Yeah.
Either Vaughn.
Yeah.
Would
Either
murder this
Vaughn,
guy.
yeah.
Well, unalive this guy.
Get him, baby Vaughn.
Let
and you gotta
Epinesa
think
get
about
out
it.
there.
And you raved about it. Goff had how many yards in the last game?
Like 80-something.
Good. I'm glad you said that. You realize they had.
Well, that was at halftime. That was
Well,
at
you
halftime.
realize
Whole game.
the whole game. He
Whole
had
game.
80-some yards.
whole game. You realize
And they put up a 50 burger on him.
You realize, yeah, Jahmyr Gibbs had 90 yards rushing in the first half.
Yeah.
You got to figure they had a kick return for a touchdown,
Yep.
a punt return, or was it the punt return for a touchdown? Might have been.
One of the special teams players.
They had 3 returns that almost went to the house. 3 of them. They had so many short fields. Didn't matter what your boy did.
So they won the position game from
Yeah.
jump.
And because why? Because the Titans kicker couldn't get the ball in the end zone. What does Tyler Bass do? If nothing else, it's in the end zone.
Yeah.
So you're starting at the 30-yard line.
Yeah.
Now, if you go further than that, they had 2 interceptions. I forgot the guy, the safety's name. I had him. I dropped him, but it doesn't matter. He got reamed out by Tadpole. And he came back and got the interception. Now, to your point about the offense, they were not Earnhardt Perkins. Okay, the Earnhardt Perkins, what they were.
All right, we should be back now.
I'm back.
Yeah, everybody should be back. Bring us on.
We good.
We good?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let's go there. Yeah, perfect. Okay. I think we back. Do we have sound?
Can you hear me?
I know. Can you dig it? Let me see. We back. Okay, finally. Sheesh.
Yay!
Annoying as it is, our audio cord got pulled out of the stream deck that we use. So I apologize for that whole mess. Key, you were talking about what was he talking?
He was talking about the Lions and how they run the scheme that they run, and how that the Bills, if we played them, do a little better.
Yeah, my bad, y'all. I mean, they really stopped me out on that.
I did no such thing, but now you know not to say
why
Marmar in this house no more.
Right. I'll never say that again. That's why you hear. That's why, man, it's bad. Had to put some ice on my eye. No, but yeah, what we were talking about, Earnhardt Perkins, I guess it was.
Laura, you ain't getting a refund for 5 minutes of your life.
Right? Did you see what Roy said?
You just came back on vacation. I don't want to hear it.
Did you see what Roy said? He said he must have been talking bad about Kyle Williams.
That's what it is. That's what it is. Yes, 100%. Thank you.
But yeah, no. The reason why, see, we were just talking about this. Got to recapture that magic. Yeah. The reason why Detroit has been so great is because of the combination of their speed and Earnhardt Perkins. That's something you really don't see that often. The fact that you can attack the middle of the field and confuse linebackers and run past them, or run behind them, or get to the spot they vacated lickety split. That's just hard to combat. But that's why the Bills, when you open the show up with it, I was like biting my tongue, because if there's nothing else the Bills do, it's usually discipline. There's only one player on the team that I'm worried about. He wears number 42. That gets sucked into different positions and stuff that he doesn't, he's unfamiliar with. I think the safeties, they play center field, they play back far enough that they can deduce and dissect what's happening in front of them. Christian Benford has proven that he's a good corner, one of the better cornerbacks in the league. Rasul Douglas is somebody that's been there and seen it all before. If we got Vaughn is not going to allow for Jared Goff to sit back there all day long, because, as we talked about with Decker and even Sewell, they're susceptible to speed.
Yeah.
So I think what they were doing was they were doubling up a lot, and when you do that, what's his name, Justin Simmons and Tavondre Sweat, they had no choice but to run the ball at Tavondre and Justin. So I think in doing so, if you have even Terrell Bernard and Dorian Williams, which is an excellent run defender, you have a shot. Now, if you put our offense versus their offense in a situation where we're playing the way Josh wants to play, I think they're number 8 in blitzes. The blitz percentage of their defense is number 8. What do you do against the blitz? You can play action. Yeah. You can draw. What do we do all the time? We run those draws you love so much.
You can also do that against the zone, though. I think that's my fear, though, is this is a team that can run us out of zone. This is a team that can run us out of too high. And the very second that they get an 8th man in the box, there goes Jamison Williams for 60. The second they run us out of zone and we put 8 in the box because we just can't stop the run with 7 dudes, then all of a sudden there goes Amon-Ra St. Brown shaking the man coverage for 40. You know what I mean? Like this team is they're 6th best in the league. You know how many rushing yards they get a game? 157.
They have to.
It's not that they have to. It's really not. Jared Goff has already shown he can pass with the best of them.
I mean, so the game where they lost to Tampa Bay, to Keith's point, they made him pass. He threw for over 300 yards and he had 2 interceptions. They only ran for like 80-something yards. But on the flip side, Baker beat him just being efficient. Mm-hmm. He had 185 yards and just beat him. You know what I'm saying? So I think if we were to play him, we could probably beat him the same way, because I think our offense is better than Tampa Bay's now that Chris Godwin is out.
Wait, are you guys saying that we can force them to pass the ball?
I think so.
Yeah.
Y'all really believe we can force a team to have to pass the ball with that kind of run game and that offensive line? Mm-hmm. That's like saying we believe we can force the Chiefs to have to pass the ball.
We can. I mean, like I
We
said,
haven't shown that we can.
because Pacheco. I mean, they always had good running backs. So I'm saying, like, if we playing without Pacheco, then they ain't gonna have no choice. They're gonna have to pass.
Okay, who do y'all think has a better offensive line, Lions or Chiefs?
I'm gonna say Lions.
I think the Lions do too. So if we've shown that we can't stop the Chiefs from using Pacheco to eat us up, and now we're looking at a Lions offensive line that's better than that, and they have two running backs that they can throw at us. That while neither one of them are as good as Pacheco on their own, the way that they're used, again, this team is getting 157 yards a game, and we think we can just shut that down and force them to pass.
No, that's deceiving. Why though? Why are they getting 157 yards a game?
Because nobody's stopping it.
They're getting 157 yards. What is the score of those games? They're running the clock out.
But again,
Yeah.
they're beating everybody they come up against, except an early loss in the season to probably one of the best run defensive lines in the league in Tampa Bay. Like Tampa Bay has a great defensive
They're
line.
They're running the score up because they're getting advantageous field position. They're the number 3 in the league with the starting field position. Number 3.
Right.
That means they start. I think they start an average of their own 40-yard line.
Yeah, again, they've played just as many bad teams as the Bills have, and the Bills have the best point differential in the league.
Mm-hmm.
Does that mean that we've blown everybody out? No, because we lost to 2 good teams.
Mm-hmm.
I think those numbers are skewed because of the bad teams that they've played against. They played against 3 really bad teams and put up a lot of numbers on those teams, and what that does to the averages is it bumps them up. So it's not necessarily a direct indicator of what they've done to every team. I think with respect to what we're seeing in terms of, like, the reason I say 157 and I emphasize that is because 157 over the span of 8 games is still a lot, even with bad teams. If it was 300 or something like that, then I'd be like, all right, how many rushing yards did they get against those bad teams? You know what I'm saying? But 157, they've been running on everybody. If you watch the games, they've been running on just about everybody except Tampa Bay. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So I can't look at this as the Bills, who are one of the worst run defenses in the league, is going to be able to walk into Detroit and shut that run game down and force them to pass the ball. Maybe in the Super Bowl when it's a neutral field, but we ain't doing that in Detroit. I'm still waiting to hear something that tells me different, but I
don't think they've seen an offense like this. And you're talking about blow for blow. Josh Allen's pass game versus their run game. I'm taking Josh Allen's pass game.
Well, again, y'all keep saying Josh versus. Like, yes, I agree with y'all there. I don't disagree with that, but you can't. That can't be included in how we stop their offense. Josh ain't playing defense.
Yes, he does. You do.
How?
Because if you if we get a big lead, if tempo comes out, we go up, we'll say 21-0. We'll say, are you going to keep running? No, you're going to pass because you're trying to make up ground real fast.
But that's assuming a lot. First of all, it's assuming that our offense is going to be able to do what it wants on that defense. I don't know if it's going to be able to do what it wants, but we can have success against that defense. They're still a good defense, right?
I think you can have more success
on
than
top
most of the teams they played.
Yeah, but again, you're assuming that we'll be able to stop them, score, stop them, score, stop them, score, and now they're one-dimensional and they have to pass the ball. I don't think we're going to be able to do that. I don't think the Lions offensive coordinator is going to allow that to happen. You still have to be able to stop that run early in the game. So unless, this is the only way that I can see that happening. If you force 2 early turnovers on that on that offense, and that leads to short fields where you get two quick scores, then I can see that happening. But if you're talking about just trading off 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out, and 3 scores for us, to me, that's the unrealistic perspective right there. I can't see that happening.
I mean, not to say that it can or won't, but to me, it's definitely possible. Like, it's definitely possible because I'm looking at the teams that they beat and the teams that they got beat. And the teams that they beat, they didn't really blow them out. Like, they beat the Cardinals by 7.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, like, it's definitely possible.
I'm looking at this Seattle game. Seattle put up 516 yards on them.
Yeah.
But Seattle also throws for the most yards in the league.
Yeah, they ran for 133 on them. They threw for 383. Tennessee ran for 158 on them. Minnesota ran from 130. So it can be done. It can be done. I mean, we have a very electric offense. Obviously, it's not an easy thing to do. This is the number 2 team in the power rankings for a reason.
Right. How are you going to stop the run game, though?
How do we stop it? How would we stop Kenneth Walker?
Yeah, but their offensive line is terrible. Okay, let me ask you this. How much confidence did y'all have in stopping Derrick Henry?
More than I should have. Way more than I should have.
I think that's clear. Let's look up where the Ravens stack in the league. Oh, yeah, that should be clear by now. They're number 1 in the league. And their offensive line is nowhere near as good as the Lions' offensive line.
But their running back is different, though.
Derrick
Henry is a different running back than Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs.
I get it, but you're talking about the number 1 rushing team in Derrick Henry. And, yes, with that running back, they should be number 1, right? But, again, best running back in the league combined with the best running quarterback in the league, combined with the best blocking fullback in the league, combined with a big, strong offensive line that – still is not as good as the Lions' offensive line, okay? Now, let's go to the 6th best rushing team in the league in the Lions. If we didn't have confidence in stopping the number 1 team in rushing, we shouldn't have confidence in realistically any of the top 10 teams in terms of rushing. You see what I'm saying?
You shouldn't have confidence, but like I said, we stopped Kenneth Walker in the Seattle run game.
But again, their offensive line is horrible. It's quite possibly the worst offensive line. You know what? Let's look up where they rank at. Where do the Seahawks offensive line rank in the entire NFL?
I'll grab it.
You got it?
I'll
okay. So, and that's like, to me, I think it's a combination of everything. I am agreeing with you guys from the standpoint of I want to see the Lions because I think we can beat them. But I don't know how we can definitively say we'll just beat them by shutting the run down and making them be one-dimensional. Like
I mean, that's fine. Like at the end of the day, like they're all opinions. Like if you think they can, I think they can. It's not a big deal.
Yeah, okay. The offensive line is, if you're looking at running, their PFF has them 68.6, so about average. They got Miami's offensive line better than them. They got Atlanta's better than them. They got KC's better than them. They got Minnesota's better than them.
So PFF has them 7th, and NFL.com has them 6th. So
this is run defense. This is just run defense. So,
right. Yeah. I know. I'm talking about rush offense.
Oh, offense?
Yeah, we were supposed to be looking at the Seahawks offensive line. How's the Seahawks offensive line in terms of run blocking?
Okay, Seahawks. 22nd.
22nd. So they're bottom of the league, basically. The same as the Texans. The Texans have a terrible offensive line, too. So I don't know. I do respect and understand your point in terms of having different opinions. It's just it seems like a drastic difference. And I usually you find the truth somewhere in the middle. You know what I'm saying? And I try to keep it as real as I possibly can when I'm thinking about the Bills' tendencies, not capabilities. I think the capabilities are through the roof. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? But the tendencies of what we've shown, or what we've seen rather, to me speak to, man, if they don't get turnovers against this Lions offense and short fields to score touchdowns early, it's going to be a long game, and it's going to come down to what it came down to the last time we were in Detroit, which is we need a 20-yard pass to get into field goal range to kick a field goal to win. Mm-hmm. And that team wasn't even as good as this Lions team. So it'll be tough. Do I think we can win? Yes. But I don't know. I guess I just disagree.
Luke Haversick was released.
Who?
Luke Haversick, the backup kicker.
Oh, man.
What? You about to pick him up?
Nah. I'm saying, now Tyler Bass, is he going to go back down?
Oh, we knew that.
Is he going to go back down? The competition's gone. Now I could just be me again?
I don't think it's competition. I really don't. I don't think it was.
Nah.
I think he needed a confidence boost.
Yeah.
And he got that in Seattle. He got that against Tennessee.
Keith, can you do me a favor, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you pull up Lamar Jackson in the playoffs, please? I want to address a comment that Steve Lynn said.
That's funny you say that, because I actually had that. We don't have time for the conversation, but yeah, I can pull it up.
Yeah, so roughly the reason why I say you can't trust the Ravens in the playoffs is because Lamar Jackson has won 2 playoff games.
Mm-hmm.
So anybody, if a team played 6 playoff games and won 2, would you trust them in the playoffs?
Nah. I think that but that's I think everybody would agree with that. Like, looking at what they did last year, some of that I would put on the coaching for the play calls and not sticking to the run like they should have and trying to put everything in Lamar's hands. To some degree, some of this has to be, Lamar's got to stop trying to prove himself and just play his game.
I think, I think it's a little overblown with the whole Lamar factor. I called it Lamar's follies, playoff follies in my notes.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at what he's done. He's still he's been in the playoffs, 4 years? And he has won 2 games, you're right. But he's averaged 190. He had 194 yards in 2018 in 1 game. He averaged 365 in 2019 in 1 game. He averaged 170 and a half in 2020 in 2 games. And 2023, he averaged 212. Now, if you're looking at interceptions, he's
then he had one in every
totals.
He had one in every game, right?
Yep, he has 6 total, and 6 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. So, I mean, it's not that he's fallen off the face of the planet. It's just the fact that without another player with him,
right?
It's not, everybody's like, oh, Lamar can't play. It's not Lamar. It's everybody's like, that's all they have now.
Yeah.
And what you forget is when you play in the playoffs,
yes,
everybody's good.
Yes, yes. You're not playing this chump team. You're playing the best of the best.
Right.
So that's why I don't know. That's why I say, like, right now I can't trust the Ravens in the playoffs because they haven't proved that they can be dominant in the playoffs.
Right.
So to me, like I said, the only team that I'm worried about playing in the playoffs right now, the AFC, is Kansas City. Everybody else we could beat.
Steve said they sure whooped Buffalo
in the season.
Right.
Steve, did we beat KC in the season? How many times we beat them in a row? 3 times in a row, right? But guess what? What did everybody say? I can't beat the Chiefs in the playoffs, right? Because that's the only time it counts.
Yeah, I was going to add to the fire. Lamar Jackson in rushing in the playoffs, he's averaging 87 yards a game. He has 3 touchdowns, and you add that to his passing game. He's all they've had. So it's not a Lamar stat. This is a Ravens stat. I want people to draw attention to.
Right.
They don't win. Right. But it's not that he just sucks in the playoffs all of a sudden.
Right.
Yeah. Locked Rain, what's going on? You ain't been around in a minute unless you just ain't been chatting. She says that's why I need to see how we do with the 49ers. If we can stop Mason, we good. The only thing with that comment that I have to say is it's probably not going to be Mason. It's probably going to be CMC or Garendo.
Any one of them dudes, though.
Yeah. It's going to be a problem either way.
Bro, that's a unique – they have a very unique run game.
Yes, they do.
I really can't stand Garendo.
You don't like Garendo?
Just out of college. I just can't stand him.
Why?
His game just I didn't like his game that much.
He looks super fast.
Is
he faster than A-Chain?
No.
He looks super fast. He looks super fast.
Yeah. Laura says, thank you, Mac, for defending the Bills. We are all defending the Bills. Wait a second, Laura.
Wait, what did you defend them on?
Right. What did you defend
what happened?
On? He know what I did.
Oh, yeah.
He know what we did.
He gonna put up the gun.
Oh my goodness. Where? So Roy says. So are y'all saying stats aren't everything? Actually, yes. We've been very consistent with that.
Stats are not everything, and the biggest thing is stats can be inconclusive sometimes. Like you gotta look how you read them because that tells a lot.
Yeah, exactly.
It tells a lot.
Yep, you got it. You can combine stats with the eye test. Or you can combine stats with film review, but if you're not combining all the 3 together, you're doing yourself a disservice by just relying on stats. So the stats aren't really everything. Yeah. Laura's saying defending the Bills from Steve.
That's right.
Man, Steve taking some heat right now. Right. Steve says Bills may set some. Oh, I think he may be saying BS records. Bills may set some BS records in choking this year. Maybe he didn't mean to say B. Bills may set some records in choking this year. Just keep glazing that receiver room, and coach, I'll just make money betting against McDermott.
Hey.
Yeah.
Do your thing.
Right.
Hey, you'll make money in the playoffs, but you won't in the regular season. I'll tell you that much.
Right. I wish it was reversed. I wish we were bad in the regular season
and then step it up in the playoffs.
Yeah, because that's what Josh does.
You know that would piss the world off? This 6 and 7 team, just 6 and 10 team keeps getting sneaking.
Right.
I'm wondering would that piss the Bills fans off though?
No, because we won the Super Bowl at 6 and 10. You know how many shirts they would make up for this?
Being the Giants every year and just being a wild card team that goes and wins the whole thing.
But here's the thing though, if that happens, then you got to go through the whole season getting clowned. Y'all boys suck. Y'all boys suck. Y'all boys suck.
He who laughs last laughs harder.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I'll be laughing
Say
real
what
hard.
you want, big dog.
Yeah.
We gonna win that whole thing again this year. You know what? It's exactly like what the Chiefs is doing this year. And people talk about how bad they are. They were bad last year and won it. They laughing in everybody's face right now. Man, Mahomes throwing the most interceptions in the league. Pfft, yeah, okay. What does that matter?
What
We're
does that
6 and 0.
I'm about to throw 2 more.
Look at the scoreboard. Look at the scoreboard. Could you imagine the team going, what is that, 8 and 9 and winning the Super Bowl?
Yo.
That'd be so Billsy.
I would take being the team to do it.
And they'll be like, Mr. Trubisky that leads us there. Like, what happened?
Don't
What
say
is this about?
Don't say
Well,
that.
you wouldn't
Cut him off,
wait,
hey.
wait.
Cut him off, hey.
You wouldn't take it. You wouldn't take a Super Bowl.
No, your volume's down. Your
What'd you
volume's
say?
down.
You wouldn't take a Super Bowl with Trubisky, winning a Super Bowl?
Oh, you said winning.
Win the Super Bowl
I thought
with
you
Trubisky.
said that. Like you said,
With Trubisky?
Yeah, 8
No.
You wouldn't take that?
No.
Josh wouldn't get the credit.
No.
I don't care.
No.
Take your shirts off.
No.
I don't see Josh stand on your shirt. Take them off immediately.
Who in the chat? Well, that's
Everybody,
tricky.
we're Bills fans.
Who in the chat would take
Go
winning the
Bills.
Super Bowl with Mitch Trubisky? Do you understand what that means, first and foremost?
Dude, he's looking at a statue, bro.
Exactly. If Mitch Trubisky
He's
ends
like, I
up
don't care.
being the guy that wins the city a Super Bowl, it is quite possibly the most droughtiest thing that ever happened to the Buffalo Bills.
And I still got a ring.
No. How many more rings do you think you will get after
I'll
that?
be on that fence at the airport by myself.
Trubisky.
Shirt me off, everything. Chest hairs out. Just
What would happen to Josh then?
who cares? We won a Super Bowl, baby. No, we won the ball.
No.
Our future. What about our future?
He's 30. We won the ball.
Are you serious?
I'm serious. I heard it tell you. You want me to give you a Jameis Winston speech right now?
Do you know what Nick Foles' career was like after he won a Super Bowl? Everybody was trying to hire the dude. That's what you want for him? You want the
Trubisky?
Bills to try and reinvest in Nick Foles?
So Trubisky gets a major contract somewhere else, and we still got Josh.
No. Nick Foles was still the starter the next season.
Yeah, but who was he backing up?
Carson Wentz.
What happened to him?
He fell off.
He fell off.
I know that, but why did he leave after that year?
Who, Carson Wentz?
Yeah,
Because
They was rolling with Foles.
Right. With
he
Foles.
sucked. He was terrible. Then
Okay.
he got hurt.
Yeah.
Josh don't suck. He ain't terrible.
Yeah.
Man, it's 7:59. Okay. No, go ahead.
That's
Make
an
your
interesting point.
Wow.
I kind of feel you though, Key, because
Yeah.
you finally get one.
Yeah,
Roy
what they
said
saying?
I'd take a Lombardi with Nathan Peterman. Yes.
I know my people.
Rings
I
trump
know
everything.
my- This show is over. It's 8 o'clock.
I take it with Tyrod. I would take it with Tyrod.
Listen.
I would take it with Tyrod.
You can take a rod with Tyrod too. How about that?
So you doing it?
No.
Roy, you heard it. He don't like him.
That's funny.
All right. Wait. What are you doing? Oh, you pulling it up? All right. Go ahead.
I was going to do this here.
Yep.
Okay. You want to put the music on? How you want to do this?
Yeah. I need to. You need pressure.
All right. This is an action-packed show.
Wait. Is the volume low enough? No, it's not. It's too high. All right. Go ahead.
All right. This is an action-packed show full of a lot of adventure, full of a lot of surprises. So you know what that does for you? It makes you thirsty. You know what quenches your thirst better than anything? Ree's Tea. Ree's Tea, 1 part refreshing, 1 part delicious, 2 parts healthy. That's what you can expect when there are only 4. Count them, 4 ingredients. I don't even drink tea, but let me tell you, that's a good drink there. What are you doing? Head on over to Ree's. Get your supply by the case individuals. Why you do that? Just get the case. Trust me, you won't be disappointed. But what do I know? See for yourself. Ree's Tea. Click the link in the description and use the code DO to let them know who sent you.
All right, listen. For those of you that are just joining us, my man PHF said I'm super late. I'm rewatching, but how y'all feeling about the Josh Allen disrespect? It is all bull. Okay.
All sodium. All sodium. He's salty as ever.
We'll talk more about that on Monday
Yes,
when we get back for the post-game show.
Or hit us up in the comments. We can keep going.
Yeah, we could definitely do that. All the links for all of our social media. If you want to, have this conversation off the show, feel free to hit us up. You can find those in the description of this video. Please like, subscribe, help us get closer to 500 so we can start monetizing this bad boy, so we can be here a little bit more and doing more things with y'all. We love doing this as much as y'all love watching, and we would love to be able to do more. So you can help us out by hitting that like button, subscribe, hit that bell, make that thing
Ring-a-ling-a-ling.
so that you can get notifications when we send notifications like Coach D's Corner will be back on our Friday show next week. We were trying to make it happen today, but he had a basketball game he had to be at because he also coaches too. The Dolphins DC distance. Okay. They about to get theirs on Sunday anyway. This just helps us even more. Listen, with that being said, he's about to get a pink slip any second now, so we got to get him out of here. Thank y'all for tuning in tonight. This has been the Post Podium Podcast, home of the All Truth, No Sodium Takes. I've been your co-host, Aramis.
Melly Mac. Bills win 34-17. Let's go.
40 Keys, 31-17.
Big old 40 burger on them bad boys. They gonna win. That's it. Y'all have a great night.
See ya.
Peace.